see this look from time to time from the Knights. Third down, St. Clair deep drop back. He's going deep down the field. The pass is caught. Wide open 40, 30. It's Buck Studwell. 15, 10, 5 touchdown. New York. They're going to hand it off to H. Shaw. He got the first down. A championship is coming to New York.
23 seconds, 22 seconds. What are they going to do here? 4 yards from the end zone. Dunhill going to throw again. Dunhill out to Hollywood. BDG Hollywood touchdown! Oh my. The Atlanta Swarm. How about it? Your champions, Georgia. 27-10 over Sioux Falls. Your Atlanta Swarm are title winners.
To the right, that's Carr. 2 down from the end. Handoff, Sandlin. Boy, he almost got hit the backfield, and Sandlin breaks it through for a touchdown for Seattle. What a run from Sandlin. He was dead to rights in the backfield and made something out of nothing.
Going to go 5 wide for Wigmore. Wigmore steps up, hit as he threw. Pass is intercepted at the 50 with room to return. It's Albert Begin again. 35-30. Albert Begin. 20, 10. Touchdown, Lone Star. Ivory Irvin not fast enough this time, and the Glory right back in it.
Second and 10 from the 38. Marconi back to pass against another blitz. Marconi's going to avoid a sack. Throw a ball deep down the field. The pass is caught. What a throw! What a throw! Touchdown! Minneapolis to Auburn on Sabu. Oh my goodness! A slow motion replay here. You've got to be kidding me. SFL is going to bring out the trophy, and Minneapolis is going to get to celebrate for the fans that came down. Receivers, 3 to the right side. Tallahassee needs a stop. They haven't gotten one here in the third. And Cochran's going to the end zone. It's cut for a touchdown. And Alaska has 9 points here in the third quarter. That's all she wrote, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to the Alaska Storm. They are your Season 11 SFL champions.
How about E.J. DeCue, Patrick Kelly, and Sean Crooked on that line. Great protection for Jackson. Now Moses is running over people, as are the rest of the Scorpions, and they bite him for a touchdown.
This Matt Wilson's pass is caught for a touchdown. What a throw to Dijon Swan. The Mexico City Aztecs, headlined by team owner Ramos Lin, gets their first SFL championship, a 38-24 victory over Chicago.
Wigmore down 10 of 13, 76 yards, 14th pass of the day. Wigmore fires it outside, it's intercepted! John Barnhart, touchdown! Sioux Falls, he does it again for the Sparrows in the postseason!
Showing a blitz on the outside, it's Queen City. Everyone stays home. Darnell Black runs past everybody, picks up a block. Darnell Black in the open field. 40, 35, 30. Being chased by Shine. He won't catch him. And the Hyenas have cut it to 7.
Mama, there goes that man.
Stats all-star crew for a terrific start so far. Third down and 9 to start the second quarter. Ivory Irvin's over the top, and it's a touchdown for Baltimore.
Jark Tarkington has a chance to win it.
Oh my goodness. For all of that, and Tarkington gives Baltimore their 3rd straight title. Oh my goodness.
Well, McChesney gonna get a carry. Oh, there goes McChesney. One man to beat, he breaks it. Jaron McChesney down the sideline. Francis trying to catch him. Not today, young fella. Touchdown Denver, they're right back in it. Down to 15 seconds left. Zuli back to pass. He's going to Corky. It is caught. And he puts it down. DC. Greg Corky is
They gotta pull out something miraculous here.
DC can't let him get behind him. They got to keep everything in front of him here. This is the ball game. Daniel Garcia back to pass. He's going to throw it deep to the middle. The pass is caught, and the tackle is made. And the DC Dragons have won the championship by a miracle on Zach Zuli's throw to Greg Corky. And I let the fellas give me a breath.
Week 2 of the Simulation Football League carries on here on the West Coast. We welcome you into this matchup between the Jacksonville Kings and the Portland Fleet, live from the Shipyard on the league's YouTube page. Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. Eric Vinson here, Stephen Hacker there. We've got James Walters and Declan O'Rourke in the stats truck for us this evening. And Stephen, it's going to be a good matchup between these two teams. Portland was looking good last week, as well as Jacksonville. Not much that they could do, the Fleets, at least against a very talented Minnesota team that continues to do well early on in the season.
Yeah, that was a tough loss for Portland. They showed that they could fight with one of the better teams in the SFL. Ezekiel Love, the main piece in this Portland Fleet offense, had 15 carries for 122 yards on the ground, 1 touchdown to go along with it, averaged 8 yards on the ground. Not only that, but had 13 receptions for 75 yards, so almost 200 all-purpose yards. Also had that receiving touchdown. So I expect Portland to attack Jacksonville in a lot of the same ways tonight. I expect to see Ezekiel Love get the lion's share of the, and pun intended, but to get the lion's share of the workload tonight here for the Fleet. On the other side, it's going to be O.J. Bruin, I think. With the rookie running back in Sean Sanders, O.J. Bruin really needs to have a repeat of last week's performance where he went 23 of 28 for 273 yards, had a touchdown through the air as well as a rushing touchdown. So going to need O.J. Bruin to step up big for this young Kings offense.
And this is Bruin's first game back here at the Shipyard as a member of the Kings. So a bit of a homecoming for him as he comes home to the team that drafted him. Spent last season with Queen City and this season here with Jacksonville. Fielded inside the 5. Jacksonville will get the first crack at the football. And that's a good return out to the 23-yard line, where we'll see O.J. Bruin and company come out to start things off.
Jacksonville's got those purple helmets with the white tops, purple trim on those tops, and the gold and purple bottoms. Portland wearing a white helmet tonight with a blue top and a white bottom with an orange trim.
Both teams looking exceptionally great tonight. As Bruin starts from the gun, has time, gonna fire it towards the far sideline, around the numbers there, and he'll get maybe a couple, courtesy of number 82, Kingston Ellington. We'll get a look at the rest of the Kings offense. Bruin at quarterback, we mentioned him. Sean Sanders, the rookie running back. Christopher Ochoa, Dill Swayze, Joseph Baudet, Goldie Morrison, and Kingston Ellington, all the wide receivers, with Joel Harleman, the tight end. Olivia and Alden Bleeker, the left tackle and left guard, respectively. 4 wide, Bruin under center. Short drop, going to fire it over the middle. Plenty of room there as they avoided the first defender and got first down yardage out to the 35-yard line. Joel Harleman with his first catch in the evening.
Yeah, and that was a nice quick attack there from Jacksonville, getting underneath the defense and really just a quick route to get this game started.
And the Kings are definitely coming out pretty quick here as they'll get a free play. Bruin will step up in the pocket and get a crosser there for maybe 5 yards. And that's going to be an encroachment penalty, so I would imagine Jacksonville will take the penalty yardage.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that encroachment was the pace of Jacksonville coming out early with this offense. Not so much in a hurry up, but maybe a little bit of an awkward timing there and just caught Portland off guard and got a free 5 yards out of it.
That'll set up a 1st and 5. Guilty party Robert Brower on the defensive end side. Ball right at the 40-yard line. Bunch receivers towards the bottom of the formation for Bruin. He's under center. Sanders, the lone back. Bruin will step up, and he's got a first down near midfield. Kings looking good so far as Swayze makes his first catch.
First catch of the ball game, 7 receptions for 78 yards last week against the Sparrows. So this young rookie has shown that he can be relied upon in this offense.
Looks like the Kings will flip the formation here. A little play action this time, and a wide open receiver, first down, yardage and more, inside the 40 to about the 36-yard line. Christopher Ochoa getting in on the action, the former Charleston Predator.
Yeah, and with the Predators, Ochoa had 66 receptions for 908 yards last season. Good for 23rd in the SFL. Also finished with 104 targets. That was 18th in the SFL.
Completely revamped receiving core for these Jacksonville Kings, and they're all looking pretty good to start things off. We'll see the first carry by the rookie here, Sanders, as he gets dragged down by the shoulder area at about the 30. We'll get a look at the Portland defense quickly here. Robert Brower at defensive end, Louis Negron, Jobu McSlim, all on the front three. Mel Davis, Joseph Lama, Brody Gulch, and Khalil Thomas, the linebackers. Chris Stack, Derek Majors, Leo Morris are the corners. Bernard Smith and Dale McLean, the safeties. As Bruin sets up on 2nd and 4, close to first down yardage, and the second effort there by the tight end, Harleman, will get him first down yardage to the 23 of Portland.
And that's what you like to see. If you get the ball there in that check down situation, when you get the ball in your hands, you got to turn upfield. Don't just fall. Don't just catch it and fall down. You got to help your quarterback out. So great job there by Harleman with the second effort to move the chains.
Very promising opening drive here for Jacksonville. Bruin is going to fire it over the middle. Open man, Kingston Ellington, as he gets knocked down at the 3-yard line, sets up a 1st and goal.
Yeah, and Bruin finds just the smallest of windows there as Chris Stock was in coverage. But a great throw from Bruin, and Ellington was just sure-handed as can be, now inside the SFL red zone.
Hasn't missed a pass yet, Bruin has. And he's going to fire once more and got a man once again for a score. Kingston Ellington for the Jacksonville touchdown.
And I think Ellington in the huddle said, hey, get the ball to me early here, because normally when you see this play, the receiver's at the back of the end zone here. But Bruin just quickly 2 steps and then fires and finds Ellington there with plenty of room to make a play, and an impressive first drive here from the Kings.
Bruin was masterful on that drive, going 7 of 7 with the touchdown strike you just saw there. And now we'll see Jordan Bradshaw come out, his 3rd season in the league, all with the Kings. And the extra point is up and through. 7-0 now your score in favor of Jacksonville. If you're new to the SFL, the Simulation Football League combines traditional sports, esports, and a role-playing game into one. Team strategies are being executed in real time by our simulations as real-life players compete on the virtual gridiron. For more information about the SFL, visit our website at simulationfl.net. The SFL, we put the fan in fantasy. Great start to the ball game for the Kings. We'll see how the Fleet responds. From about his own goal line, bringing it up to the 23-yard line. So identical starting field position here for both teams as Morris takes the return out to that point on the field. And we'll see Cyrus Jive come out and lead the troops.
Definitely want to keep an eye on number 21 in the Navy, as that's where I believe Portland's going to go early and often here.
In the Navy. Cripps to start things off for Jive. He's going to swing it out to Ezekiel Love, and Love will get maybe a couple on that play. Good pursuit by the Kings defense. We'll get a look at the Fleet on offense here quickly. Cyrus Jive at quarterback, number 7. Ezekiel Love, we just saw him at number 21. Jacob Farmer rounds out the backfield there at fullback. Israel Adams, Benjamin Warner, Ryan Davis, the wide receivers. Nelson Lozano Jr., the tight end. Randy Fatt the third at left tackle. Jaden Taylor the center. And Jay Warren the right tackle. I formation for 2nd and 8. Jive going to throw short. And that's Lozano. And he's got first down yardage. Just kept churning the legs there, Hacker. And went ahead and got a first down as a result.
So tough to bring down after the catch. Nelson Lozano is a very good receiver. Probably the number 1 receiver outside of Ezekiel Love on this offense. So, you know, whenever he gets the ball and he's able to get ahead of steam, he's big enough that he can drag 2 or 3 defenders with him.
Heavy formation. Love the lone back in the formation. Jive going to swing it out that way. Got a defender in pursuit. Slips that defender and slips the second one. He's loose. He's down the far sideline and still on his feet as he eventually gets ushered out of bounds inside the 35-yard line. What a run.
Yeah, it was great screen pass and enough time developed in that play that the linemen were able to get downfield. That was on the right side, so Jay Warren's going to be one of the ones out there trying to make a play. You see Jaden Taylor, 79 there, getting that assisted block as well, and that's what Portland believes in. They've invested in their offensive line, and it's a big part because they do rely so much on Ezekiel Love, and they need those screen passes. They need those pulling guards and tackles on the field for him, and that was a great display of it there.
So into opponent territory in a hurry are the Portland Fleet as they set up in the gun this time with a back on either side of Jive. Plenty of time for Jive. Pressure coming. Going to throw it dangerous and incomplete. Bernard Gooden getting in there for the swat, and that results in a second down.
Yeah, and almost able to steal that one away. The 9-season veteran, Bernard Gooden, comes over and makes a nice play. Bruin felt the pressure, tried to step up in the pocket, but the pressure was coming from the direction he was trying to move to. So as it led to that errant throw. But Bernard Gooden, if he had another opportunity at that one, I bet he's gonna take it away.
Jive gonna throw short. He's got Lozano again, and this time a sure tackle by Gooden. And that's going to bring up a 3rd and 4. We're going to look at the Kings on defense here quickly. Tyquan Hale, Forrest Dalton, Joey Schwint, and Logan Gardner, the front 4. John Martin, Stan Diamond, and TJ Harper are the backers. Bernard Gooden, Nathan Nur, Ricky Robinson are the corners. Yun Vaught, Jorge Torres, and Toby Nur are the safeties. 3rd and short. Jive airing it out, picked off! Bernard Gooden has been in on 3 back-to-back plays, culminating in the interception there.
Yeah, I think that's got to be a lesson learned for Cyrus Jive there. You can't test Bernard Gooden, even in one-on-one coverage. I know you got to feel good sometimes about that 50-50 ball, but he's showing that he's locked in right now. I don't think that was the right side of the field to attack, and Jacksonville's going to steal that one away from the Fleet.
So a bend don't break defense for Jacksonville to start things off here as they take over following the interception deep in their own territory. Sanders will get maybe a yard out of the deal as that pushes the ball up to the Jacksonville 9.
Mel Davis there on the tackle. Solid linebacker for the Fleet since their inception in the league, and has been a really good presence. It's been fun watching his career grow in the SFL, and stepped up there, made a nice play on the rookie.
Over 600 career tackles for Mel Davis to this point. And hats off to him as Sanders will get another carry. It will get maybe a little bit more, 1.5 yards, I'd say. And we'll mark it down at the Jacksonville 11. So that's a 3rd and 6 now.
Sanders at 5'7", 200 pounds, the rookie, drafted in the 2nd round, number 53 overall. At that height, he's going to be a little shiftier, a little speedier, but he's going to sacrifice a little bit of strength, I think. So it's going to be tough on those dive plays to get him going, I believe.
Bruin is going to have first down yardage to his receiver, Bodette. And it looks like he's gotten just about every receiver involved in the passing game so far. That was just a nice play there to end up getting the first down yardage for Jacksonville to extend the drive. Bruin takes the snap. He's going to fire it over the middle into traffic and somehow caught Kingston Ellington with first down yardage out to the Jacksonville 36-yard line. And we'll get another look at that one, Steven.
Yeah, and looks very similar to how Jacksonville started their first drive of the game, coming out and really just attacking with a quick play, trying to keep Portland on their heels.
Jacksonville continuing to break the huddle quickly. They'll come out with bunched receivers towards the far end of the formation. Bruin going to air it out that way and incomplete. He had a receiver out there, but Derek Major is able to tip the ball to the ground for the incomplete pass. And we've got our first game break of the evening. We'll shift it out to SFL HQ and Commissioner Cameron Irvine. Cam, what you got?
Thank you, you, Eric. San Diego proving week 1 was no fluke. Scar Patterson to Benji Matson down the field, and the Mavericks on top of the Corsairs 21-3 early in the second quarter. Back to you guys in Portland.
Thank you, Cam. And Queen City, the all-time winningest franchise in the Simulation Football League at 120. Jacksonville sitting at 119. So an opportunity to match as the SFL's winningest franchise here this evening for the Kings, as Bruin quick fires a suspect pass there. Swayze almost able to come down with it, but it hits the ground, brings up third down.
Yeah, and kudos to the wide receiver going up, trying to make a play for the quarterback and putting his body on the line. As the linebacker was coming across the middle there and absolutely delivered a monster hit. And that was Brody Gulch, two-time All-Star out there.
Third and long now. Bruin from the gun. Takes the snap, shuffles in the pocket, throws off his back foot, and incomplete. He had a couple different throws on that possession there that were not necessarily his best, and Chris Stack was able to get the PBU. Results in a fourth down.
And both quarterbacks have looked a little uncomfortable at times in the pocket in this ball game, and both throws while under duress have fortunately for both quarterbacks fallen to the turf. But yeah, I expect if that continues through the course of the game, that these defensive backfields are going to feast a little bit. These quarterbacks got to find a way to get through their reads a little bit quicker and make a decision and go with it.
Fair catch call for and made at the Portland 29-yard line. That's where the Fleet will take over. O.J. Bruin 7 of 7 on his first drive, and not as great on the next one, as he was 2 of 5 on that last one there. So Portland will take over after Cyrus Jive threw an interception and see if they can knot things up at 7. Jive from the gun. Gonna quick fire it near sideline, caught. And that's close to a first down by Israel Adams. 6'5", 225. That's a big target there for Cyrus Jive.
Yeah, and he is a weapon with the ball in his hands as well. But I'm looking at the stat sheet here, and Ezekiel Love still without a carry. 2 receptions, but hasn't got a tote yet. We'll see if he gets it here on 2nd and 3.
There it is right there as he bounces it off tackle, spins back to the inside, and a good tackle there by Jorge Torres, the strong safety, as he comes up and makes a stop.
Yeah, he just put a shoulder into Ezekiel Love. You don't see that very often, let alone from a safety, to be able to deliver a hit like that on Love. So that was a big shot from the safety.
Former DC Dragon coming in and making his presence felt here in week 2. Portland 3rd and 1, not going to get there. Jacksonville bearing him in the backfield as they knew exactly what was coming. They lined up and knocked him in the mouth, forced Dalton and company in there on the stop.
And they just fully committed to the run there. That was like a jailbreak blitz almost, and there was 4 defenders in the backfield as soon as the ball was snapped, and Portland was lined up in a heavy set. So that's it just shows you how well prepared the Kings were for a run on that play, and Portland's going to have to give the ball right back to the Kings now.
Fair catch this time around for Jacksonville, made at the 31-yard line. Swayze, the return man, calls for it. And a quick 3 and out, that's what your defense can do for you to keep your team in ball games. And, Jacksonville coming out on fire that first drive, second drive not so great. Defense came and gave him the ball back. And Jacksonville will come out with 4 wide. Bruin with time, steps up. He's going to run for it. Spin move right into the defender. And he's going to get maybe 4 out of the play. Looked like he had an opportunity to get a whole lot more as he turned on the Jets quickly there, Steven, but spun right into trouble.
Yeah, and a great design, looked like a design draw play there for Bruin to let the defense think it's a pass as they continue to drop back in coverage, and then he just tucks it and runs. Good pickup of 4 yards from the quarterback. That's absolutely phenomenal run.
Sanders having trouble getting things going early on as he gets buried in the backfield, loss of maybe a couple. Brings up 3rd and 6 as Jacksonville goes no huddle. Bruin to throw. Throws far sideline. Diving catch made, but it's going to be short of the marker. Christopher Ochoa made the catch, but couldn't quite stretch the football past the line to gain. Brings up 4th down.
Yeah, and it looked like he was going to get there, but had to jump to make that catch, and it unfortunately took him out of position to be able to get that 1st down. And so a 3 and out for Jacksonville, and these teams are just taking turns playing great defense. We'll see which offense decides to show up here with just under 25 seconds now in the 1st quarter remaining.
And we'll see another fair catch made at the 26-yard line by Majors. And we'll see Cyrus Jive and the offense come out once again. And I'm with you on this one, Steven. You got to get Ezekiel Love involved a little bit more in the run game.
Yeah, and maybe not be so scripted. Not they look a little predictable right now, and I think Portland's got to find a way to get away from that.
See what they do here. A single back is offset. And it's going to be an off-tackle run. Ezekiel Love, good spin move, slips to the second defender. Still on his feet as he's dragging defenders all the way to midfield. What a run by Love. And that's what he could do for your ball team.
Yeah, and that's the kind of run you're used to seeing, right? Not a safety come down and just put a shoulder into him. I mean, he was dragging 3 or 4 defenders, breaking every tackle along the way there, and that's just the kind of runner that Ezekiel Love is. He has a mean streak in him.
A 24-yard run to end the quarter here for Portland as they are trying to get themselves back in the ball game. Down 7. As you're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music, live on the league's YouTube channel. Eric Vincent, Stephen Hacker in the booth with you this evening. James Walters and Declan O'Rourke working the numbers machine down there in the stats truck. Handoff to Ezekiel Love and gets buried right around the line of scrimmage. He'll get maybe a yard on that play. And it looks like this Jacksonville defense might have some mojo here to be able to drag him down. We've seen a couple of those angry runs by Love, but Jacksonville throwing some forearm shivers out there too.
I don't mind that particular run on 1st down as long, you're not losing you're not losing 3 yards, because 2nd and 9 still not terrible.
Jive thrown it into coverage again and incomplete. Jorge Torres this time out in coverage. We've seen him play run support as well, and that results in an incomplete pass, 3rd down.
Yeah, so I don't mind the run on 1st down. It would be nice if you had seen maybe a shorter pass there to try to get yourself into a 3rd and manageable. Again, I don't mind the deep shot down the field at this point in the ball game either, but now with a 3rd and 9, I would have liked to see maybe a shorter play on 2nd down.
They are certainly trying to be a little bit more unpredictable, as you requested, Steven. Jive can air it out, and a great play made on the back end. I couldn't quite get the number of the defender there, but knocked it to the turf, and that resulted in a 4th down.
That might be Nathan Nur on the play. And again, Jacksonville in great defensive position. Both these teams have really tightened up defensively, and it's been a defensive ball game aside from the one Jacksonville score. But it'll be nice to see which of these teams can kind of figure out how to make it work. I think if Portland had ran that slants play on 2nd down and then tried the deep shot on 3rd down, maybe a different result for them on that drive. But, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes, the way the game goes. You got to call what you feel is right in the moment. But I think, again, these teams have got to figure out a way offensively to get something going to back up these defenses, because both defenses right now are playing excellent football.
And it might come down to a field position battle as well. We saw Jacksonville struggle to get out of their own end off of the interception, and now they're right back into their own end as well at their 19-yard line. So we'll see how this kind of pans out as both teams jockeying for momentum early on in this ball game. Bruin blitz coming. He's in trouble. Hit as he's thrown and incomplete. I'm shocked he got that football away and got it within range of Swayze. But, man, you saw it right away, Steven. It was going.
Yeah, they were in Portland was in a nickel 3-3-5 defense, and then the safety kind of cheated down a little bit, and then actually came on a blitz. And so Bruin, realizing it, just got rid of it very quickly, overshot his receiver by about 7 yards, but I think that was a great decision to just try to give your receiver a chance to make a play.
Bruin pump fake over the middle, caught. That's Harleman. He's been an active target for Bruin. As you see the numbers for both quarterbacks here this evening. OJ doing OJ things right now. He's been looking good early on in this season.
Yeah, I think he feels really comfortable in this purple and gold offense, getting a chance to spread his wings here with Jacksonville, and I think he was looking for that opportunity, and I think the Kings have presented it with him, or presented it to him.
From the gun this time, Bruin going to throw. Plenty of time. Clock has to be going off now, and there he goes. Spin move out to the 33-yard line. Good decision by Bruin to eventually just tuck it and go.
Yeah, and that shows you the composure of the quarterback to keep his eyes downfield, trying to let his receivers eat and get their yards, but they couldn't do their job. They couldn't get open, so Bruin did the best thing for his team at that time and tucked it and ran. A great decision making from this quarterback.
Sean Sanders still having trouble getting his night going as he gets maybe a yard. They'll stop him right around the line of scrimmage, and it's hard to run on linebackers like Mel Davis.
Yeah, Portland really does have a strong run defense to complement their strong run offense, and they're not a team I think you want to test on the ground.
Probably why we've seen Bruin go to the air as much as we have as he goes play action here. Throws it back to the far sideline, and a big play by Swayze as he's able to get out of bounds right around the Portland 48-yard line.
And Swayze continuing to be one of Bruin's more favorite targets, racking up some nice totals here as a rookie receiver out there. And just if he keeps making plays, if you keep hauling the ball in and turning upfield, the quarterback's going to keep looking your way.
Goldie Morrison, the only weapon, the only star weapon, I should say, for the Kings not to get involved in the passing game yet. As Bruin will throw. He's going to sling it out to Sanders. Plenty of blue and navy blue, I should say, in that area, and drags him down at the 46.
Swayze Sanders last week had 19 carries for 37 yards, did find the end zone for the offense, and be interesting to see how they can keep, if they can keep Sean Sanders in this game as well, as Portland's going to keep their ground game going.
Little delayed handoff this time. Sanders will get just past the line of scrimmage, and we'll get to about the 45-yard line, so that's a third management.
So that's not a bad carry. You showed that you can get to a couple of yards and keep the confidence in the offense in the running back that they can go back to him for another attempt here. But now 3rd and 6, OJ Bruin's got to make another play here to keep the Kings on the field.
Keeping that same formation, this time going play action. Bruin got to fire it over the middle. He somehow got it! Jacksonville down inside the 10 to the 6-yard line. What a catch and run by Christopher Ochoa.
Yeah, Ochoa trying to stay on his feet through the 3 or 4 hits that he took after he caught the ball, and just an absolute dime thrown by OJ Bruin, who is heating up right now. Great coverage from number 20 on the fleet, who was that's Bernard Smith, was right there in position to make a play, but just a fantastic throw from OJ Bruin.
39-yard pitch and catch from Bruin to Ochoa sets them up with a 1st and goal. Handoff, Sanders gets bottled up right in the backfield. Absolutely no room to run as the defense there, led by Negron, just penetrating early there, Steven, gave no room to operate.
Yeah, I think in these situations, you need to find ways to get Sean Sanders involved outside the tackles. I think that's where a running back of that stature would be most effective. We'll see if they can get that straightened out.
Bruin to the air. Far sideline, caught Ellington, and he'll get dragged down at the 2-yard line. Looked like he might have had an opportunity to hit pay dirt and couldn't quite get himself there before he was dragged down.
But a veteran play. That's a veteran route. That's that's a go-to. That's a money play. You got to be there for your quarterback to make that. So now a 3rd and goal from the 2, a much easier throw for O.J. Bruin.
And they're going to go 2-2 with Bruin under center. Short drop. Bruin shuffling, and he goes down. They're going to mark it as an incomplete pass, I believe, as the ball came out. It's going to bring up a 4th and goal and a chip shot field goal for Jordan Bradshaw.
Not going to hurt the stat line for O.J. Bruin at the moment, but I want to question the play call just a little bit. I don't think that puts you in the best position. That particular play puts you in the best position to score. So I do want to challenge them because O.J. Bruin has looked really good on these drives, but I just think that particular play didn't give them the best opportunity.
And Bradshaw will nail the field goal there from about 19 yards. And that'll make it a 10-0 ball game in favor of the Kings. Liking the game so far? Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Thank you for helping the SFL reach 10 years of operation through your viewership. Majors from about his own goal line there, trying to spin, but he'll get knocked down at around the 22-yard line.
Yep, Eric, I think Portland needs to find a way to wake up. They've looked really lethargic to this point. The defense is playing really good, but their offense needs a shot of adrenaline here with only 5.5 minutes remaining before the half.
Yeah, I think you said it right there, Steven. They're just not firing on all cylinders. Sometimes they'll hit it, and they're looking good, and they're cooking, and sometimes they'll sputter out. And somehow that's completed out to the far sideline there. I thought that was going to be a deflection, but put it right on the money to Israel Adams on the far sideline there.
And again, both defenses are executing almost perfectly. The defensive back couldn't have been in any better position. Nathan Nur could have not been in any better position. There was a blitz coming. That was his man-to-man assignment, and made a diving attempt at the play. Almost had a shot at it. Just a better throw from Cyrus Jeff.
Hand off to Zeke, and Love will get himself forward, I should say, to the 34-yard line. That'll move the sticks for the Fleet.
And Eric, what if I told you that was Portland's 4th first down of the game? Would you believe me?
4th first down, you say?
Yep. Because they've been struggling offensively to get there. 0 for 3 on 3rd downs as well.
Love going to get the pass coming out of the backfield this time, and he gets first down yardage out to the 45. They'll get first down number 5 now. And we'll see if this sustains itself. Again, we've seen them make these different plays, and it's looking good, but then they sputter about halfway through.
Yeah, definitely need to find a way to prolong these drives and finish one off. As they can't keep themselves on the field right now, and that's going to be a problem as this game wears on.
Handoff again to Ezekiel Love, and he'll get past midfield to the Jacksonville 49-yard line. Looked like he could have gone for a whole lot more. He's got 34 yards on the ground here this evening. And yeah, Portland is going to need one of those sustained drives, especially coming in towards the half. And just not a whole lot to show for it. Jacksonville, 2 long drives, 1 for a touchdown, 1 for a field goal. And we'll see how the Fleet answer here. Is Love going to get a carry? He bounces it far sideline, slips the first defender, and is going to get dragged down at the 27-yard line. Portland looks to be in business.
Yeah, and I think that bodes well for Portland. They're now in scoring position. They're in scoring territory. Their offensive play style, their offensive philosophy is designed to be inside the 30s like this. This is where they're really tough. They're a tough team to stop once they're in scoring position. So I at minimum I expect Portland to get 3 points out of this one. But in the best position of field position of the game for them to this point, I think Portland's got to put their foot on the pedal.
Love getting the swing pass coming out of the backfield again, slips the defender, somehow stays in bounds, and is going to get first down yardage inside the SFL red zone to the Jacksonville 16.
And Love is just that explosive. He can catch the ball, he can run the ball, and no matter what, he is impossible to bring down. When you add the fact that he's got all the blockers out there on the sideline helping him out, he's an explosive weapon, and that's just a fraction of what he can do on the field.
And Jacksonville is going to challenge.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either. I was going to say that his little sidestep looked like it was going to carry him out of bounds, but upon looking at the replay, I never saw any part of his foot go out of bounds. We'll get another look here. No, I'm not seeing it.
Great awareness to, kind of move that foot back in, as he was lifting it up. He knew right where his feet were. He knew right where that line was.
Little sneaky sneak there. And they're going to overturn this. I'm curious as to where they're going to spot the football. Wow, they're going to mark it back at the Jacksonville 23-yard line. Wow.
So I guess they're saying whenever he came around the offensive lineman there and he was trying to cut up field, some part of the cleat got out of bounds.
I don't necessarily agree with that one there.
Yeah.
Jacksonville, the benefactor of a successful challenge, and then buries Love in the backfield, setting up 3rd and long now. What a turn of the tides for the Fleet. Jive going to throw it over the middle, somehow caught, and that'll get him a first down inside to the Jacksonville 15. No huddle again. Jive will hand off to Love. Love will power his way to the 11. Still going no huddle here, which I like, by the way, Steven.
I think Seven's got something up his sleeve here. We'll see what Jive can do. Nope, handoff.
Handoff to Love. Love trying to bounce it off tackle, and he'll get a couple more. And it looks like the Fleet will be content to bring this down to the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, at least a chance to huddle up and catch their breath after 5 consecutive plays, it felt like. So now a chance to kind of regroup, get the right personnel on the field, and get the right play call in.
We'll see if they actually snap this football here before the 2-minute warning. And they will. Jive going to throw. End zone. Incomplete. Good solid coverage on the back end there. And that was Dale McClain, the strong safety, step for step with the receiver. And that's going to be 4th down and a field goal try.
Yeah, and Benjamin Warner been targeted now 3 times, but yet to get a reception. And mainly that's due to being blanketed over there on that left side. As every time Cyrus Jive tries to make a throw, there is just a defender in the area all over Benjamin Warner. So we'll see if Jive looks to the other side of the field, maybe goes back to Nelson Lozano Jr. a little bit more.
And as the field goal is good, so that's 3 points on the board for Portland. My apologies, that was actually Bernard Gooden out there in coverage for the Kings on defense. So now a 7-point game, 2:02 to go here. Jacksonville with all 3 timeouts. And they've got an opportunity to go ahead and seize the momentum here.
Yeah, a good defensive stand. As your defense has been playing fantastic all night, a good defensive stand, there's still plenty of time for your offense to put points on the board and get yourself right back into the end of the game before the half.
2-minute warning at 1:58 to go here in Portland for the first half. Scores 10-3 in favor of Jacksonville as you're watching Simulation Football League action continuing on the league's YouTube channel. Four wide trips towards the bottom of the formation for O.J. Bruin. Handoff to Sanders, and Sanders continuing to try and run the football on this tough defense. Brody Gulch making the stop for no gain.
Yeah, absolutely flattened the running back there, and the Sanders struggles are continuing here for the Kings, but O.J. Bruin is putting on a fantastic performance, keeping this offense alive on these drives.
Bruin going 2-2 this time around under center. Bruin with time, going to check it down to his tight end, and Harleman will get close to first down yardage. Mark him down at the 31-yard line, clock continuing to roll.
And Jacksonville doing exactly what they need to do. They've really slowed their pace down. But Portland on this 3rd and 4, probably the most important third down of the ball game, at least to this point.
Bruin blitz coming, going to throw it over the middle. Got Swayze. Dill Swayze has been a great target for Bruin here in this first half as they go no huddle. Play action, blitz coming again. Bruin finding another man. Harleman towards the far sideline, going no huddle once more.
Back-to-back blitzes from the Fleet.
We'll see if they send it again. This time they'll drop back in coverage. Sanders struggling with the handle, and that'll hit the turf, freezes the clock at 34 seconds, 3rd down.
So what I noticed on the 3rd down play, they blitzed a safety, and they ran that post route with Swayze, who made the reception for the 1st down. Then the no huddle. Then they elected not to blitz the safety, but they still blitzed the linebackers, which allowed, I believe that was Ellington, to make that reception. So, Portland's bringing the heat here, trying to get O.J. Bruin rattled.
See what they do here on this 3rd and 2. Blitz coming again. Bruin couldn't quite get the ball away. It hits the turf, and that brings up 4th down, well out of field goal range, so they'll have to punt. Yeah,
this is tough. Portland really needed to get Jacksonville off the field, with the 3 and outs, as that 1st down allowed Jacksonville to take more time off the clock. Interesting decision here, Eric, near midfield.
I don't mind it. It's no man's land. We'll see if they actually run a play or they're just going to try and get a free play, which they do.
Oh, you cannot.
They're going to get a 1st down regardless, but you're absolutely right, Steven. Cannot do that in a clutch situation like that.
Yeah, super unfortunate. I mean, you just got to stay honest there, stay disciplined, and everything is going to work out fine. You're going to get the ball back, but you're trying to make something happen, trying to be a little extra, and because of it, Jacksonville gets a 1st down, and they've still got 3 timeouts, Eric. They've got an opportunity now to extend their lead because of a careless mistake.
And that's the 2nd offsides called on Robert Brower here this evening. Keeps the Jacksonville drive alive. 28 seconds, fresh set of downs, all 3 timeouts for the Kings. Bruin over the middle, intercepted. What a play made by the defender, leaping up and snagging that football. And I think that was Brian Evans, one of the extra corners in the formation. What a play.
Yeah, stretching out to make the interception, I should say, and steals it away. And so just doing the quick math there, if Jacksonville had punted on that 4th down, Portland probably would have been starting at their own 17 or 15-yard line. So the encroachment or offsides actually didn't hurt them as much because now they have the ball on their own 32 with 23 seconds left.
Hats off to the Fleet defense for forcing that, as an incompletion is forced by Jive on that play, freezes the clock at 19 seconds.
And I think, if you're Portland, you have to try to take advantage of the interception. I think you need to go for broke. There's not enough time here. Just, pick your longest deep pass other than a Hail Mary and just go for it here. You've got 3 timeouts, so if you complete it, you can take a timeout. We'll see how Cyrus Jive does here.
Jive handoff, Ezekiel Love slips the first defender, slips another one, and he's off to the races again. Gets 1st down yardage out to the 45. Gotta call a timeout.
Not going to do it.
And finally, they'll burn one with 3 seconds to go. Probably within Hail Mary range, I'd imagine. But, man, just the clock management there by Mel Davis and company, it leaves you scratching your head a little bit.
Yeah, that hurts a little bit. And you have to have that ready to go. You have to be mindful of the play clock and the time clock. And, Portland lost about 7 seconds there. So that's probably a play or two that they could have had in their back pocket. But we're going to see Jive line up, and he's going to hurl it for the end zone here on this one.
Jive takes the high snap, avoids the pressure. Can't get away from him the second time, though, as he goes down for the sack. And that's back at the 44-yard line as clock hits triple zeros. And what a half it has been here, Steven. Portland with 3 points, Jacksonville with 10 as we hit halftime. Both teams looking very good. It's hard to say which team really has momentum as Portland is going to get the second half kickoff here.
Yeah, if I had to use my best judgment of the Rick meter, I would say right now it's maybe slightly favoring Jacksonville, maybe a 57, 43 kind of split that we're dealing with right now. So just slightly favoring, and I probably did the math all wrong there, but slightly favoring Jacksonville right now in this game. As we're moving forward, I've been really impressed in my mind. It's been the play of OJ Bruin for the Kings that is leading me to lean that way. I feel like both defenses have executed well in the first half, so I think it's going to boil down to which team can break out in the second half, which offense went into the tunnels and really took the coach chat to heart, right? And came out who can deliver in the second half. That's going to be the story.
Ezekiel Love with the carry to start things off, and he gets first down yardage, picking up right where he left off at the end of the first half, averaging over 7 yards a clip as he's been toting the rock with great effect here this evening.
Yeah, it's just, he can get a big play, but then it seems like his next couple of carries are 2 or 3 yards, and then the struggling passing game, and they're getting off the field far too often. It would be nice to see them be able to get him 5 or 6 carries in a drive, so that he can really explode. Because, averaging 7 yards a carry, you just give it to him every play almost, right?
Over 100 total scrimmage yards for Love, and he's going to add to that total here with 10 plus more as he gets out to the 46-yard line just like that. 2 plays and 20 plus yards for the Fleet.
And that's what they've been missing. They look like a completely different team right now at the start of this second half. And one thing I am noticing, Jacksonville going a little low right now, going after the knees of Ezekiel Love, maybe trying to tire him out early in this second half.
Jive going to throw for a wide open man along the far sideline and just maybe led him a little bit too far as Adams couldn't quite complete the catch.
And that's something you have to help Ezekiel Love. There was nobody. There you go. Good challenge. I felt like that was a catch, but that's the receiver was wide open on that route. It felt like everybody on the field was focusing on number 21, and it left number 10, Israel Adams, wide open out there in the flats.
And I agree with you here, Steven. It looked like he maybe got the 1 foot in, which is all you need here in the SFL. And there you go. There's the 1 foot.
Yeah, sometimes you got to watch the hands, too. It's not always the foot. You got to watch the hands. Does he have possession of the ball with that foot inbound?
And it looks like old R62 agrees with you. Looks like he has both possession and the foot inbounds. So they will credit that as a catch to Adams. And we'll see where they mark the football there. It'll be a 2nd and short, 2nd and 4 it looks like. So a catch of 6 yards on that play. That'll put him in Jacksonville territory. Handoff, Love, and somehow made something out of nothing. He was dead to rights in the backfield there and gets close to the line to gain at the Jacksonville 45.
Yeah, and rookie TJ Harper there to be introduced to Ezekiel Love. A great introduction, I'm sure, but it's one of those things that Love can make those kinds of plays. You think he's not going anywhere with it, and somehow he's able to get 3 or 4 extra out of it.
Jive to throw. In trouble. He's going to go down. The Kings finally get to Cyrus Jive, and they knock him back at the Portland 48-yard line. And that's Forrest Dalton getting in there for the sack.
Yeah, it looked like Joey Schwent and Forrest Dalton going to get credited with the half sack there. So great group effort from the Kings defensive line. Both the defensive tackles immediately crashing down on the quarterback. And, a 3rd and 1, you lose 7, a 4th and 8. I mean, it's so unfortunate for Portland right now, just struggling to get anything going through the air as the ground game is working wonderfully. It's just, the passing game is really hampering the Fleet offense right now.
1 drive for Portland over 6 plays tonight, and that's their only scoring drive on the evening. Great stat there provided by our fine commissioner, Cameron Irvine. So hats off to him for being the statistician as well as every other hat that he wears with this great league. Bunched receivers. The Kings have liked this formation quite a bit here, Steven, as they're going to go with that towards the far side of the formation. Bruin pressure coming. One-handed grab. First down yardage for Christopher Ochoa. It's been the Dill Swayze show for the most part, but Ochoa has been getting in on the action as well.
Yeah, and making a great play. The defender was there in coverage shadowing, but, again, Bruin finding a way to hit his receiver in stride, and great job by Ochoa to go up and get it.
And Bruin again with a very efficient evening here. 20 of 28, a touchdown and a pick. Going with that bunched receiver look again. As Bruin will throw, he'll throw that end and find Swayze. He'll get close to first down yardage. Portland stops him just shy as that brings up a 2nd and short.
So I'll be interested to see if Jacksonville goes with the run here, and it's been typically seeing the dive plays. So it'd be interesting to see if Sean Sanders can get involved in this game for the Kings.
I mean, they basically need just a length of a face mask in order to get the first down, but instead they're going to swing it out to Sanders, and what a play call that was! Sanders with the spin move. He's still on his feet inside the 20 to the 16-yard line of Portland. Great play call for Jacksonville.
What a pleasant surprise. A pleasant surprise that was. I asked for Sean Sanders to get involved outside the tackles earlier in the game. Portland sends a blitz, so Sanders is all alone out there. One defender to beat, and he just spins his way around him, and then unfortunately dragged down from behind. But you see the effectiveness versus a dive play versus getting him outside the tackles where he can be explosive and make those kinds of plays. So great job by the Kings there.
You can hear the Duval chants being made here in the stands in enemy territory.
I think that's just in your head right now, Eric. You just hear Duval in your head all the time.
Absolutely not. Bruin throws it over the middle quickly, and he finds Ochoa for a gain of 6. Don't ever bash my Duval boys like that. Come on now.
Especially that quickly after, or that soon after what just happened. I understand. You can be a little sour. It's okay. It happens to all of us.
Back to the trips look for the Kings on this 2nd and 4. Bruin setting up the screen to Sanders, and this time it's going nowhere. Portland read that one like a book. As big number 95, Jobu McSlim gets in there and makes a stop.
And it was like McSlim was just waiting there. It was like that was his assignment on the play, to kind of get out there and wait for a screen, and the perfect time to call it.
Sets up a 3rd and 4 now. Bruin gonna throw it. Got a man, and it is caught for the touchdown. Kingston Ellington with his 2nd touchdown grab of the evening.
Did just enough. It would not surprise me to see another challenge flag come out on this one, but Bruin with a throw, and the defender right there, you'll see him jump up. Oh, just didn't time it right. And Bruin able to put it over the top of one defender right into the waiting hands of Kingston Ellington, who's able to fall into the end zone and extend the lead for the Kings.
And Kingston Ellington has just hit 2,500 career receiving yards. So hats off to him for reaching that career milestone. 2 touchdowns to boot here this evening, as the extra point is up and good to make it a 17-3 ball game. Want in-depth statistics all season long? Visit the SFL website at simulationfl.net for info about the league and its 28 teams, and to see all the league records, team stats, player leaderboards, the rankings of the next class of SFL talent, and so much more. SimulationFL.net, your home for everything SFL. Jacksonville starting to take over this ball game here, up 2 scores with 6:09 to go here in the 3rd. Plenty of time for Portland to come back, but they're going to need a heck of a lot of effort here from their offense. We've got another game update, and we'll toss it on over to SFL HQ and Commissioner Cameron Irvine. Cam.
Thank you, Eric. Pseudo Nakai today with 3 rushing touchdowns. Jet Zero tacked on a 66-yard score just now, but it's all San Diego 35-10 as Nakai and the Maverick offense still moving, even though Dave Axis got hurt again. Thank you.
Thank you, Cam. And Ezekiel Love doing his best to keep this Portland team in the ball game here as Jacksonville eyeing franchise win number 120, seeing if they can match Queen City here this evening, with San Diego taking care of business just to the south of us.
Somebody let Axis know. I said that's what happens when you take a season off.
There you go.
All of a sudden, your body's brittle out there, looking like peanut brittle, just falling apart every week. Somebody tell him I said that. Quote me on that, please.
I'm sure Axis will appreciate the hell out of that as Ezekiel Love gets dragged down at the 28-yard line, over the century mark for Ezekiel Love, and still averaging almost 7 yards a carry.
Yeah, and just doing what Ezekiel Love does. I mean, just he's one of the running backs in the SFL that can absolutely take over a ball game, and Portland's happy to let him do so.
3rd and 3. We'll see what they do here as they come out in the gun. Jod going to throw, wants to air it out, and he's got an interception. Looked like he had a man. Adams was in the area, but it was great coverage out there as well from Jorge Torres, and the former DC Dragon makes the interception.
And yeah, that was anybody's ball. Great adjustment from Torres to break off of the corner route and revert back to the post, and able to go out and steal it away from Israel Adams. That should have been a completion, but Jacksonville's going to take over now at their own at the Portland 49.
Both Gooden and Torres with an interception for this Kings defense this evening. As Bruin takes over, he's going to air it out, and this time he's got a man. Inside the 25-yard line to Ochoa, mark him down at the 23, just like that.
Yeah, I think if you're an offensive coordinator, you may be familiar with that feeling of, oh, well, let's take a deep shot. Then it gets intercepted, right? And then the other team comes out and they take a deep shot, a very similar play to what you just ran, and it works for them. That's a very, very frustrating feeling. But, O.J. Bruin just continuing to cook in this ball game.
Ochoa over the century mark here this evening. Caught all 7 of his balls. Another pass thrown towards his way and incomplete this time, as Derek Majors was out there in coverage.
And, Majors was formerly a first-round draft pick. And, displaying the athleticism, displaying why he was viewed as that kind of talent. And last season had 9 pass deflections, finished with 5 interceptions and 2 defensive touchdowns. That was good for 4th in the SFL. So he's a dynamic playmaker over there as the CB1 for the Fleet, and has showed up at times in this ballgame making really good plays.
And a fine adjustment there, thinking he was going to go deep and then adjusting back to defend the football. Kings going 4 wide on 2nd and 10. Bruin again going that way. This time completes it. Gets the tippy toe in. Christopher Ochoa with another fantastic catch. It's going to be a 1st and goal from the 3.
Yep, and I think they'll always tell you, wide receivers and cornerbacks, you got to have a shooter's mentality, or a shooter's memory, so to speak, where you're going to give up big plays, catches, and those things are going to happen, right? So you have to forget that, and you have to be at the next play as soon as the result of one play happens. You can't worry about what just happened. You have to move on right to the next one. So Ochoa, after getting stopped one play, comes out, makes potentially a nice grab. We'll get a look at the challenge. That looked like possession to me, and a foot down. Looked like he got his left foot down there, Eric. What do you say?
It did indeed. 3rd challenge of the ball game, and this one going to go in favor of the Kings. So the ruling on the field stands. Portland losing a timeout there. I don't mind the challenge there, but it certainly looked like Ochoa made a Herculean effort to make that grab.
Yeah, and that was probably tough to see down the sideline as that play was happening. There was a lot of limbs flying around there. So I agree with the challenge flag. Throw it out there and let the refs clean it up on the replay.
Going back to that bunch look we've seen a lot. Bruin going to go opposite end. Finds a man. Touchdown, Dill Swayze, as the Kings continue to pour it on.
And this young offense, absolutely shocking the Portland defense right now, is the running game has been non-existent. So it's all on the arm of number one right there. And he is dissecting this Portland defense in their house. In their house, he is coming in here and absolutely putting on a dominant passing performance. And that's what the Kings, I think, were looking for with their quarterback. They wanted somebody that could come in and pass the rock around when you've got 5 wide receivers. I think that's, it's no secret, right? You want a quarterback that can deliver the ball, and O.J. Bruin is A+ here tonight in this ball game.
Captain Pickle himself gets a touchdown on the board. Dill Swayze with 5 catches, 53 yards, and that touchdown grab as Jacksonville adds to their lead, making it a 3-touchdown ball game. The East Division has been one of the surprises of the SFL so far this season. Atlanta on top, Florida at the bottom, and Louisiana and Jacksonville playing better. The improved Revs and the Kings kick off Week 3 in a pivotal division matchup. Kickoff is at 8:15 Eastern Time, only on SFL YouTube.
Still time in the game for Ezekiel Love. I mean, all it takes for him, he's a dynamic back. One play, he can take it to the house and get some points on the board. So, I'd say Portland's probably still got 3 or 4 possessions left in this ball game. If their defense can find a way to slow down O.J. Bruin, if their offense can put some points up, then they can claw their way back in this game. There's still plenty of time left here, Eric.
Well, and once again, the story stays true. They've had one drive over 6 that was 6 plays or longer, and that's their lone scoring drive that gave them the 3 points, as Love gets a good carry on first down to get 9.
Yeah, and it's again, a lot of these drives start out exactly like that. Ezekiel Love does exactly what you expect him to do. Get you a nice carry on first down. It's the next couple of plays after that really where Portland is struggling. So we'll see if, as this game is wearing on, the coaching staff is able to learn what the defensive side's doing and get a little bit better play selection for your offense.
1 of 7 on 3rd downs here this evening for Portland, and that's just not going to get it done as they try to convert this first down on 2nd down, and they do, as Adams makes another catch along the far sideline out to the Portland 37.
And Jive audibled at the line and wanted that hot route for Israel Adams. Looked like they had a double slant that was going to go on there at that side of the screen. Changed Israel to an out route, and there was nobody around. Perfect pitch and catch.
Benjamin Warner and Ryan Days have both been held off the stat sheet here this evening. It's been the Adams and Ezekiel Love show, as Jive going to air it out to Adams, and that is incomplete. Looked like it was just a little bit too far on that far sideline there, Stephen.
Yeah, and I actually think that's the right side of the field that they want to attack. And don't send Israel Adams there to the middle. That corner route looked really nice. You had one-on-one coverage, and I think that's the 50-50 ball that you want to throw if you're the Fleet.
Looks like they might get it once more here. Instead, it's going to be a pitch play to Love. Love,
great
following
block,
flips the defender and gets dragged down at the 43-yard line after a gain of 6. And you said a great block there on the edge.
Yeah, I believe that was the left tackle, Randy Fatt III, able to get out there and give a little help for Ezekiel Love. And that's exactly what you love to see, is the big heavies getting out there and securing those blocks.
3rd and 4. Jive in trouble. Gonna fire it over the middle. He's got it.
There he goes.
He's gonna waltz into the end zone and dance his way in. Touchdown, Portland.
I've seen the showboating go south really quick. I just prefer to see him get into the end zone before they start dancing. But I have no doubts that Benjamin Warner was just happy to put some points on the board for the Fleet to give their offense some life. And who can blame him for showboating after that catch? I mean, breaks the tackle and off to the races. That's exactly what he needed in the game to get on the board.
This ain't the Deshaun Jackson show here, okay? I mean, what a way to get yourself on the stat sheet, though. 1 catch, 57 yards into the end zone to get your team back into this ball game. Low snap on the extra point, but they're going to get it up and through to make it a 24-10 ball game. And you said it, Steven, plenty of time left, especially when you're going to air it out like that, and you're able to find a man over the middle of the field who makes big plays.
Yeah, now it's going to come back to solid defense, and I think Mel Davis and the defensive coordinator for the Portland Fleet have been over on the sideline with that short time, but I think that's what they've been talking about is what do we got to do to slow down number one in the purple and gold, and I think that's going to be their main focus. Sean Sanders has really shown to be ineffective. I think they can look away from trying to slow down the run game. If Jacksonville elects to go that route, I think Portland's just base run defense will do enough to slow them down. They've got to find a way to get in the head of OJ Bruin here, and stop letting him convert on second and third down.
Jacksonville has scored on both possessions here in the second half. We'll see how Portland's defense responds. Coming out with 3 down linemen. Bruin to throw. Going to step up in the pocket and run, and slides down after a gain of maybe 5 yards. Over-under set at 54.5. We're just a tick underneath that, and Portland not hitting the 8.5-point spread here this evening, Steven.
Yeah, Jack's data does a great job, and it's hard to get them all right, but plenty of game left. We'll see if it ends up being correct.
Still got a whole other quarter of action to go as Jacksonville has Bruin firing on all cylinders. Ellington with another catch, his 7th of the evening, gets close to first down yardage as he steps out around the 35.
Looking down in the YouTube chat, Eric, I see I see Big Stanky has asked, I just discovered the league. Is Portland good enough for a comeback? And I would say absolutely. If you watch number 21 there in the Navy uniforms, he is one of the premier SFL players, one of the best of the best. And if anybody can take over a game, it's him. But it's going to boil down to the Portland Fleet defense, and you can't allow plays like that to happen, Eric.
Ochoa is going to zoom into the end zone for another Jacksonville King touchdown through the air. And man, oh man, this pass defense for Portland is just getting torched right now.
Yeah, and it's OJ Bruin. I mean, he's just playing with the confidence right now that doesn't allow him to make mistakes, and that's rare. Rare, especially in week 2, that your quarterback is coming out and playing like that. Again, mixing in the runs. It's not these home run runs, but it's mixed in at the right times. It's not leading to sacks or fumbles. He's looking really good for the Kings. Again, I think this is exactly what they were looking for when they had to go out to the free agency market and find a quarterback. And it looks like early on in the season they've struck gold.
And they've struck gold in the wide receiver market as well, bringing in Ochoa from Charleston. The only thing missing from his stat sheet this evening was the touchdown grab, and he's close to the 200-yard mark, which is rare to see in this league. Just a fantastic evening for both Bruin and Ochoa, as Jacksonville continuing to keep the foot on the gas and keep Portland out of this ball game. .65-yard pitch and catch from Bruin to Ochoa makes it a 31-10 ball game here. And we will see if Portland has the intestinal fortitude to mount this type of comeback, as their defense doing them no favors currently through the passing game. We'll see if Ezekiel Love can just put the entire team on his back and run his way back into this ball game.
Yeah, and don't forget, it doesn't necessarily all have to be on Ezekiel Love. There are some weapons on the offense. Nelson Lozano Jr. can help make some plays inside the red zone. Israel Adams has made some big plays here tonight. Benjamin Warner as well. So, and the defense has some playmakers that if they get an opportunity to take the ball away, they can take it to the house as well.
Ooh, and Jacksonville had a couple opportunities there at a tip drill pick. That would have been the 3rd on the evening for Jive, as it hits the turf, thankfully, for Portland, and they live to fight another down.
Yeah, Jive is not. I think Jive is facing the opposite of what OJ Bruin is facing right now, which is unbridled confidence for Bruin. Where I think Jive is just he's wondering what's going to work, because he's taking his opportunities, but it doesn't seem like everything is getting where it needs to go.
Dive, stepping up in the pocket collapsing around him, avoids the first defender, doesn't avoid the second. Jacksonville drags him down back inside their own 10-yard line, and they sent the house at him.
Yeah, and Jacksonville giving Portland a little taste of their own medicine. You know, you want to put pressure on our quarterback and make them uncomfortable. Well, you know, how do you like it? Here's a blitz of our own. And, you know, again, credit to both of these defensive fronts and defensive sides of the ball for playing a really good game, because it's the blitzes have looked really good. Both teams have looked really sharp on defense.
Third and long now, and another sack for the Jacksonville defense. This time, Tyquan Hale getting in there. He's been fairly quiet this evening, but he's getting closer and closer to 130 career sacks. That's sack number 129.
And the second all-time leader in SFL history in sacks, and just continues to show his dominance season after season, and just, you know, finds new ways to get to the quarterback all the time. Such a dominant force.
This is going to be a bit of a shorty punt here for Portland, as their backs were against the wall. Swayze able to get it out to the Portland 30-yard line, and great starting field position for the Kings as they continue to dominate this third quarter of action. Bruin comes out 30 of 39 for almost 400 yards and 4 touchdowns to go along with 1 interception. He's been masterful this evening, and he's trying to add to that total. Ball hits the turf, though, as his tight end, Harleman, couldn't quite reel that one in.
Looking here at the largest margin of victory for the Jacksonville Kings, it appears it was 45 points in a Season 8 matchup against the Queen City Corsairs, where the Kings won that game 59-14.
Got a long way to go to hit that number, as Bruin got to throw a little bit of a duck to his running back, Sean Sanders, who couldn't quite reel that one in, as that falls incomplete.
On the other side, for the Fleet, back in Season 15, their largest margin of defeat. I'm sure they don't want to relive this moment, but I'm going to make them do it anyways. Back in Season 15, Portland, their largest margin of defeat was 46 points at home against the Louisiana Revolution, losing that game 3-49. So both of those seem to be pretty safe in this ball game, but we'll see what happens as this one goes down.
All it takes is one play, and Portland not out of it yet. Bruin continuing to carve the Portland secondary up as Ochoa passes the 2-century mark, 200 yards receiving here this evening.
And only 1 incompletion when Bruin has looked his way, and averaging 22 yards per catch, or per reception. I mean, that's pretty amazing to only have 1 incompletion when you're being targeted, 20 yards down the field almost every throw.
Sanders, good spin move there to get a couple extra yards as he makes it out to the Portland 4-yard line. It's 31-10, your score here in Portland, as Jacksonville is just continuing to seize momentum here in this second half. We got one more quarter of action to go. Get your boards up in the chat. You're watching the Simulation Football League, presented by APM Music, live on the league's YouTube channel. Stay with us.
Of the Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Eric Vincent here, Stephen Hacker there. James Walters and Declan O'Rourke in the stats truck as Sean Sanders, gets another carry. And he'll get closer to pay dirt there at the Portland 3-yard line. APM Music is unrivaled music to bring your stories to life, inspiring every production with the world's most robust and constantly refreshed music collection, state-of-the-art technology, and world-class customer service. APM Music is the official soundtrack of the Simulation Football League. To explore the library and to find the perfect tracks for your projects, visit apmmusic.com. And Sean Sanders is continuing to add to Jacksonville's prime project here this evening as they put another touchdown on the board.
Yeah, and I think that's a positive sign for your offense moving forward, as you know your passing game has looked dominant. You go with a counter play there, just something to try to mix up the dive plays, and the blocking is able to get home. And Sean Sanders, the young player, able to show some patience, let the blocking develop, and cross the goal line.
Hasn't had a ton of yards to his credit this evening, but gets into the end zone for a rushing touchdown in back-to-back games. Jacksonville looking good in every facet of the ball game here this evening. Only allowing 10 points on defense, a couple interceptions forced by their defenders as well, and a 28-point advantage. It's been smooth sailing, it seems, once they hit the second half, Stephen.
Yeah, really, O.J. Bruin really settled into the ball game, and Jacksonville's defense has just found a way to keep Ezekiel Love quiet. He's having nice, output, but it hasn't really resulted in anything on the scoreboard for Portland. So really, once Jacksonville kind of settled in, realized that their game plan was working pretty well for them, it's been smooth sailing for the purple and gold.
And Portland's going to get another crack at the football here, down 4 touchdowns. They're going to need to make some magic happen and do it in a hurry, as Ezekiel Love has been the primary weapon here on offense this evening. A couple standouts at wide receiver as well, but it's going to need to happen, and going to need to happen in a hurry. Jive will take the snap. He's in trouble again. Finds a wide open Nelson Lozano Jr., and that's going to be first down yardage close to the 40-yard line.
That's a good job by Jive to stand tall. The pocket started to collapse late on that play. He had a little bit of a rushed throw, but that's why you have those targets like Nelson Lozano Jr. out there. They can adjust to the ball. You just need to get it out there and let your receivers make a play. And that's exactly what happened there. And now Portland's out at their own 37.
Clock continuing to roll, under 10 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Jive, short drop. He's going to sling it out to Love, and Love gets bottled up near the line of scrimmage. He'll get maybe a couple yards. Bernard Gooden and company out there to make the stop.
Man, I'd like to see a little urgency from Portland there. Maybe, get into a no-huddle situation. Maybe not the right formation for it, but I'd like to see Portland with a sense of urgency as this drive progresses.
And Love getting buried in the backfield. That's bad news if he's not able to get at least 7 to 10 yards out of every carry. And Jacksonville doing their best to keep him bottled up after he's already hit the century mark.
Yeah, and that's just a law of numbers, law of averages thing there. Not every run can go for 7 yards. It kind of balances out where one goes for 0, the next one goes for 14, and all of a sudden you've got an average of 7. So not everyone can be a home run.
3rd and long, and it's going to be marked shy of the line to gain. 4th and 5 now as Adams makes the catch, getting knocked out of bounds. Portland going to have to punt.
Yeah, that's pretty tough. That's it's looking like Portland's going to have to really rely on a defensive turnover here. Hopefully, their punter Birkin can pin this one deep, get it over towards the sideline, and really put some. Oh my goodness, the worst thing.
The worst possible thing that could actually happen on that play did. Jacksonville coming up with the blocked punt. And it's going to be a late hit called on the recovery. So I believe that Jacksonville will still keep the ball, if I'm not mistaken, since that's a dead ball foul.
Yeah, it's going to be after the turnover. It'll be tacked onto the play, correct.
So not quite the best starting field position that they were looking for after the blocked punt. But Jacksonville still looking good here as the blitz comes.
There it
and
is.
Bruin makes a mistake. That's the first ill-advised throw we've seen in at least a couple quarters, and Portland makes them pay for it. Good interception by Bernard Smith.
Yep. Blitz came, had one-on-one coverage there, so a safety lining up with the receiver, and Bernard Smith was to task there. his team needed a turnover, and he got one for him. And now Portland's got to find a way to repay the defense for doing their job all game long. And I like this set. I like this look from Portland.
3 wide towards the top of the formation. Jive under center, short drop. He's going to sling it out opposite end to Love, who couldn't quite get his footing, and he's only going to get maybe half a yard on the play.
That's super unfortunate. You got to get your running back in stride there, and give him an opportunity to make a play. When he has a turn at his hip like that, and recollect himself, it takes him out of position to make a play, and unfortunately, nothing doing on that one.
Handoff this time to Love, trying to find a little bit of room and gets nothing. We'll get maybe another half a yard. And that'll bring up 3rd and long here. Stan Diamond, number 57, getting in there and making the stop for the Kings.
Portland's 20% on 3rd downs to this point in the game.
Going 2-2 on this formation here. Jive over the middle into traffic and incomplete. He fired a laser out that way looking for Benjamin Warner, and it falls incomplete.
Yeah, waited till the last possible minute or last possible second to get that pass out, is trying to get his receiver into a nice window. But as we all know, at the later you wait in a slant for the all slant to develop, it just creates a lot of congestion there in the middle of the field. So Jive really had to put some heat behind it, and receiver couldn't corral it.
So after Perkins' punt blocked on the last possession, he gets this one away, and Swayze will take it out to the 35-yard line. Jacksonville sitting pretty right now with a little under 7.5 to go and up by 4 scores.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see now what up 28 points, if Jacksonville's going to try to take their foot off the gas and rely a little bit more on Sanders to try to chew up some clock, as the running game has been really ineffective to this point. So I'd just be curious to see if Jacksonville is forced into throwing or not.
Sanders does get the carry to start things off, so that'll chew some clock as he loses a yard on that play. That's been the story all night long. The Portland run defense standing strong against the rookie running back.
2nd and 10.
Meanwhile, that man has gone off. 421 yards and 4 scores to go with 2 picks this evening. Just a fantastic performance by Bruin, and he's continuing to add to it as Harleman makes a clutch catch over the middle of the field, mark him down at midfield, and that's another 1st down.
Yeah, and I think the defensive coaching staff right now is probably watching this game and feeling a little off. They're blitzing really heavy, and it's in these 2nd long, 3rd and long situations, and the blitz isn't really hitting home for them in this ball game, and Bruin is dicing them apart.
Sanders, first big run we've seen from Sean Sanders this evening as he gets 6 out to the Portland 44-yard line. And you were wondering, Steven, it looks like they're going to go ahead and dial back the game plan maybe a little bit and allow a little bit more runs incorporated into the game plan towards the end of the ball game.
And I think that's the right move. You got to find a way to sprinkle some runs in just to keep the clock moving for your offense.
Bruin going to air it out into coverage again and intercepted. Portland with its 2nd turnover in as many possessions. And that's another good interception made by Dale McClain. This Portland secondary trying to do their best to clamp down on O.J. Bruin in the 4th quarter, Steven.
Yeah, and some of that I think is just good adjustments, recognizing the tendencies where O.J. Bruin has been, eating them up in this ball game. So they're cheating a little bit, but it's to their favor as they're catching Bruin making some poor decisions now, and they're trying to capitalize on it to keep their team in this ball game. 28 points is a long way, but the defense is doing everything in their power to keep them in it.
Love bouncing it off tackle, spins inside, going to get 4 on the play. Clock continuing to roll, under 6 minutes to go. There's got to be a sense of urgency here.
Still going to the huddle, and I think a lot of that is just because of how their team likes to operate. They really flow through Ezekiel Love. So it's pretty standard whenever you like to run the ball a lot. You kind of take your time getting back and forth between the line of scrimmage.
Jive, 7-step drop. He wants to air it out into coverage and incomplete. Jorge Torres already with an interception on the board. Almost got another one there.
And they've gone to that play a couple of times. It's worked well for them once, but the other couple of times the Kings are in really good position. And Jive's got to find a way to get that over the top of the safety if he wants to give his receiver a chance to make a play on that one.
Impressive stat line for Torres. 9 total tackles, one of those being a sack. Couple pass breakups and interception, so a very complete game from number 21 in purple and gold.
Battle of 21s here tonight.
Certainly is. Jive wants to air it out again. This time got the one-on-one matchup. That's Adams. He's loose. Israel Adams is eventually going to get tracked down inside the 15 to the Jacksonville 14-yard line. That's the big play they were looking for.
Yeah, Portland could have had that play called maybe 4 or 5 more times in this game. I think they would have had some more points on the board. That's the matchup I think that they want. As Israel Adams on the left sideline is a bit of a matchup problem as opposed to Benjamin Warner matched up against Bernard Gooden. So I'm curious why it took Portland so long to target that side of the field, but it's nice to see a big play coming that way to Israel Adams.
51-yard catch by Adams with the rookie Ricky Robinson, the 42nd overall pick in coverage. Jive to the air again, wants back of the end zone, incomplete, almost another interception, but the tip drill goes out of the back of the end zone.
Somebody get this guy out of the film room. George Torres is all over the field, making plays behind the line of scrimmage, making plays 15 yards down the field. I mean, this guy is all over the place tonight. Credit to him spending extra time in the film room.
And just adding again to a complete game for him. 3 wide this time, 2 towards the top of the formation, 2 backs in the backfield for the fleet. Jive is going to throw, wants end zone, got it! Touchdown, Portland!
And just going to continue to attack the middle of the field there. Both receivers running that skinny post, and Israel Adams able to get underneath. And it's perfect. Created plenty of separation. The safety, George Torres, late to get over, finally makes a mistake, and Cyrus Jive capitalizes on it, and the fleet gets 6.
Way Anchor and the fleet are setting sail late in the 4th. Capitalizing off of the turnover and trying to keep themselves afloat in this ball game. Another awkward snap, but again gets it down, and the extra point is good. A 21-point ball game now in favor of the Jacksonville Kings. And I don't mind the decision here to go for the onside, Steven.
No, and I think it's maybe a little early, but I think it's the right decision. Go ahead and take the opportunity, take the chance, and maybe something good will happen for you.
And something good looks to be happening there.
Oh, so close.
It looks like Jacksonville finally came up with it, but they got that pop they were looking for. But Jacksonville with the recovery. We'll toss it on over to SFL HQ. Commissioner Cameron Irvine with a game break.
Thank you, Eric. Scar Patterson crosses 10,000 career receiving yards 2 games into his 3rd season. This touchdown to Lili Nakai in the back of the end zone. San Diego now 2-0, heads to Motor City next week, 42-20 over Queen City.
Thank you, Cam, as O.J. Bruin again with plenty of time. Going to throw a far sideline and just a bit too far out of bounds. Ellington with the foot on the white line there and couldn't quite complete the catch. And that sets this up nicely for Jacksonville to win this ball game and to move into a tie as the league's winningest franchise. It's tough to say.
Yeah, but it doesn't take away from the prestige, though, of being able to say, hey, in this competition that we compete in, we're up there with the most wins all time. That's a great accomplishment.
Big hit over the middle of the field on Sean Sanders. duplexed into the dirt after a gain of a couple, brings up 3rd and long. And you're absolutely right. And there's a lot of prestige that does come with a league that has been in operation for 10 years, on their 20th season, with a minor league on top of that. And, it's certainly not an achievement to scoff at.
Has it been that long? I feel like I just got here yesterday.
I know.
I guess time flies when you're having fun. Yeah.
Bruin, little misdirection counter play, and Sanders almost gets there. He's going to get dragged down to the 36. Clock continuing to roll, more importantly, for this Kings offense. And might see a long field goal attempt here. Maybe a punt.
Yeah, it'd be, 40, 50, 52 yards. That'd be a pretty tough field goal, even for some of the more premier kickers in the league. We'll see if they... Nope, that's the punter out there. So I can't blame them for that. Definitely want to try to put Portland as far back into their own territory as possible to prevent any chance of a comeback at all from happening.
Howard McCoy letting the play clock and the game clock tick away before he gets his punt off. And lands a bit too far of a bounce there as that trickles into the end zone for a touchback. Hey, don't leave the stream without joining our Discord server. There's so much more to do in the SFL than just being a player. Join to check out content for teams and about the league created by the community. Participate in pick'em games, play SFL fantasy football, and test your skills in the survivor pool. To join our server, visit simulationfl.net and click on the Discord icon on the menu. The SFL community 2,000 strong. We'll see you there. Jive in trouble as pressure got in his face pretty quickly. Taekwon Hale and company able to force the incompletion.
Yeah, in Portland now with the time clock dwindling down, really looks like they're going to try to turn up the octane on their offense. As that last time Jive was alone in the shotgun, I believe that was the first time in this ball game they've come out in that set.
They're going to go empty on this one. Only 3 down linemen for the Kings to combat this look. Jive going to air it out and complete. First down yardage out to the Portland 37-yard line. That was a dot out to Benjamin Warner.
Yeah, and Warner probably had a couple extra yards to gain on that one, but momentum and how he was, how the ball took him out of bounds, he just, smartly maintained possession, and it's going to stop the clock for Portland, which is pretty important too. You don't want to get into a situation where the clock just kind of continues to run on you. So picked up the first down, got a big chunk play, and you stopped the clock. Good job from the Fleet.
Good performance by Cyrus Jive this evening as well, completing a little over 60% of his passes as he continues to add to it here with the swing pass to Ezekiel Love. And Ezekiel Love doing Ezekiel Love things as he's getting close to another first down, avoiding that first defender.
Yep, and that's exactly what you expect from him on those screens is, the first defender may be there, but he's not really there as you expect Love to break that tackle. It's really what happens as the second defender gets there, whether or not it's going to be a huge play or not. But great start to that first down, that particular play set. And also, again, Ezekiel Love got out of bounds to stop the clock for him again.
Jive sidearm throw and it's picked off. That'll pretty much do it as the Kings get another interception. Mark him down right around midfield. And this time picked off by the rookie, Ricky Robinson.
Yep, and just man coverage there. Let Adams run the route and then just keyed off on his hips. And as soon as he saw that Adams was breaking inside, so did he, and jumped right in front of that. And Robinson got himself an interception.
And get Ricky that game ball as well. It's his first career SFL interception as well. Hats off to you, young buck, and continue to do great things in this great league. Play action. Bruin, far sideline, Swayze, as Captain Pickle continuing to add to his resume this evening. Bruin has just been throwing the ball all over the yard. He's been hitting every receiver this evening.
Yep, 46 attempts, 47 attempts, 33 completions. So really is just continuing to share the love with all the opportunities and just looks so good in this offense. Leading this team. And again, I'm really partial to quarterbacks that like to run the ball. So Every time I see a quarterback tuck the ball and take off, I really like that. So got a lot of respect for what OJ's Bruin is doing here with the Kings.
More play action. Little crosser over the middle, finds Ochoa, and Ochoa, talk about going off, over 200 receiving yards this evening with a receiving touchdown. I'm sure someone had to have gotten all of it, right? I mean, Bruins thrown for a ton as we've hit the 2-minute warning here in Portland. 38-17 the score as Jacksonville is just looking to put this one away and go to 2-0. You're watching the Simulation Football League presented by APM Music live on SFL YouTube. Second string in now for the Kings as they look to close things out. Portland knocking down the backup running back in the backfield there. Portland calling their second timeout. They'll have one remaining. Lost one earlier on a failed challenge, so only one opportunity to stop the clock here to wrap up the ball game.
Yeah, Bruin's going to finish his day with roughly 451 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Interestingly enough, there was 4 receivers for the Kings that finished with 6 or more receptions while Bruin was on the field. So great offensive performance from the starting group of the Kings.
And even added a rushing touchdown to the resume as well as Swayze makes another catch inbounds, forcing Portland to burn their last time out. There will be no more remaining, and Jacksonville could pretty much knock this one in the book. Victory formation, best formation in football for the winning team. Jacksonville going to 2-0, as we mentioned, taking on a much improved Louisiana Revs team, and they'll be taking them on from the Lions Den in Duval County. And meanwhile, on the flip side, Portland will travel just a little bit further south down to LA to take on the Lycans, who are also 0-2 on the young season. So someone's going to get their first win of season 20 down there in LA. And another knee there from Jacksonville, continuing to run the clock. Third down coming up. And, I mean, what more can you say, Steven? I mean, Jacksonville just came out. It was a close game. It really was early on in maybe the first and second quarter. And Jacksonville continuing to just chip away. And then that second half, they took over and seized all momentum from here on out.
Yeah, Portland struggling to find, a passing attack really allowed Jacksonville the comfortability to take some risk, and it let OJ Bruin just heat up. And once he caught fire, once the smoke was there, OJ Bruin was off and running. And at that point, Portland just didn't have enough in the tanks in this one to keep up.
And hey, a big shout out to Big Stanky in the chat. He's been keeping us occupied all game long, along with the rest of our fine people here in this fine league. But welcome in, Big Stanky. It doesn't matter how long it took you to find us, you found us nonetheless. And we're glad you're enjoying the league and all of its great teams. Final score here from Portland, 38 for Jacksonville, 17 for Portland, as we'll get a look at the final game stats and highlights. 21-point victory, but man, it really didn't feel that close at times here, Steven.
Yeah, once we got into the second half, the Kings' game plan really just kind of flourished and looked really crystal clear, where Portland just couldn't put the pieces together, throwing the ball, and it's we got what we expected from Ezekiel Love. We got, for the most part, what we expected from the Portland defense, but what we weren't expecting was 400 passing yards from OJ Bruin and the blow up that ensued from there. And so Portland needed to do a better job. I think they were too aggressive. I think the idea was right, trying to put some pressure on Bruin. Yeah, I think that may be a little personal. They might have wanted to get after Bruin a little bit maybe, but I think that he made them pay the price. The blitz didn't hit home enough, and the single coverage that these Jacksonville receivers were in, they capitalized on it all night. mainly with Chris Ochoa hitting up 223 receiving yards, and he just absolutely feasted due to those one-on-one coverages.
Yeah, and you hit the nail on the head, Stephen. It was the passing attack for Jacksonville, just taking advantage of those one-on-one opportunities. As you see another one there from Ochoa, and Ochoa was fantastic this evening as well. And you're absolutely right, an aggressive defensive game plan for Portland, and it kind of bit them in the butt a couple different times. And you're going to run into those type of games as you progress through the season. So I have no doubt that Portland will rebound. They're a great team. They've got a great running back, a great staff. And they'll go ahead and they'll tune up the game plan and get ready for LA next week.
Yep, but for saying too aggressive, there was that last interception from Bernard Smith just on the screen, and that one as well. They blitzed on those plays. So you can blitz with success. I'm not calling out the fact that they blitzed. I'm calling out the fact that it was second and 8, third and 8, third and 9, and they're sending safeties to blitz in those situations. And I think that again, those 50-50 balls, when you're matched up one-on-one with the defensive back, a lot of times you'll take those odds, right? You're not going to hit every time, but almost every time tonight, Jacksonville was capitalizing on those opportunities. And so, again, just something you want to look at if you're a coaching staff. Jacksonville looks really sharp. Offensively and defensively, it's not easy to slow down Ezekiel Love and have Ezekiel Love have a quiet game. So Jacksonville, well-rounded performance tonight.
And who else would be the player of the game? 34 of 48, 452 yards, 4 touchdowns, and added 17 rush yards. O.J. Bruin, number 1 for the purple and gold. Well, on behalf of Stephen Hacker, Declan O'Rourke, and James Walters, my name is Eric Vincent. Thank you for tuning in to this presentation of the Simulation Football League in Week 2. And we've got more action to come in the following weeks. Thank you for tuning in. Everyone have a great evening. Good night.